Previously on Desperate Housewives.
The core had been conquered, and Madeline's journey could now come to an end, right? 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 I began recording Farewell on the 5th of November of 2022. After conquering the core, only one thing was left to truly say that I had beaten Celeste, but faster. And that was Farewell, the 9th chapter of the game, consisting of 9 segments that are the ultimate test of skill. It has been a long journey, and now I have finally finished. This is the story of how I cleared Farewell in Celeste, but faster. Alright, we are in, and the first screen doesn't seem so bad, and oh, look at that, I cleared it in my second attempt. Cool. Maybe this is not going to be as hard as people have warned me in the comments. Let's see how the next screen goes. Yeah, the thing is I figured out I didn't need to abide by the rules. So far, the second segment, which is called Singular, has opened with challenges that require both a deep understanding of the game and using every mechanic available to make it. A great example of this is screen number 4, in which inertia plays a key role and any slip-up leads to Madeline getting electrocuted. The next screen is also quite representative of Farewell, as most of these felt like a puzzle that I had to solve by gameplay. These falling platforms are fairly easy, but you need to get Madeline to the final one without dashing. So how do you do that? Well, with trial and error. Always with trial and error. Lots of trial and error. I kept advancing through this whimsical landscape and okay, that is not how it's done. Let me check. Oh, so that's how it works. Makes sense. And here we have the first new mechanic of Farewell, Puffish. I only had played Farewell once before this video, but I remembered well enough these bastards. Jump on them, get an extra bounce. Go near the side and making them explode, bounce off of them. Nightmare fuel, these little creatures. Although this first room with them didn't go that bad though. The next few screens got more complicated as each one posed a harder challenge involving puffishes. Nothing scary so far, but the next level started introducing mechanics from earlier chapters and combined them with the puffish. And soon enough I realized how tight were some of the reaction times in which I had to dash, jump, grab, or whatever insane combo the devs required of me. The end of Singular had me going through a dash crazy bonanza in a labyrinth of electricity, and although it was very rough, I managed to come out on top and advance to the next segment, which is called Power Source. This segment introduces one of the most iconic mechanics of Farewell, which is the jellyfish. With the jellyfish, you can float, regain height with your dash, throw it to activate coins, and die in a lot of new and creative ways. The first rooms with it went really well and I actually had fun. And then I stumbled upon the bluebird I was chasing and he set up some locks that didn't let me follow him, so now Celeste turned into a Metroidvania, in which I had to find power sources to shut off electricity and keys distributed everywhere to open those damn locks. And so I did, after a lot of trouble, and went up right into the skies. I feel like I need to give a special honor mention to the room in which you need to keep going up with a jellyfish and 2 moving platforms. That at twice the speed was insane and a good taste of what was ahead of me. Remember to mark my rise to the skies with the almighty jellyfish. In the first room I felt like a balloon that had been invited to the Cactus annual party, and as a result I died many times. But with enough perseverance I was able to crash the party and leave unnoticed and without getting spiked. For the next screen I'll show you my winning attempt and I'll let it speak for me. That was sick as hell, right? Well, could you imagine how many tries took that? You couldn't, right? Try to guess in the comment section. After those 2 nightmares, I actually had quite some fun exploring the dreamlike world of Remembered, and the rooms that I traversed weren't actually that bad, and the mechanics and gimmicks you had to use were really clever. I might suffer a lot doing these challenges, but man, I cannot stress enough how good is Celeste. It is an absolute masterpiece. I don't know, I just wanted to say that out loud. I rode the jellyfish and threw it to gather blue coins, and that almost felt like a roller coaster, and then this Lovecraftian horror appeared before me. This moving platform pupfish combined abomination induced me the biggest despair imaginable. How the hell was I supposed to... And that's basically how you beat this game and become a millionaire. The next room combined a moving platform and a jellyfish, and although it wasn't as bad as the previous one, I couldn't ignore that the difficulty ramp was spiking very frequently on that last section. But alas, I got to clear the room after some tries and I reached the heart. We did it! We have beaten Farewell, but faster. Thank you so much for watching this video. What? I have to keep going? Ah! Hey, don't run away, you little glitchy bird. I'll get you. Event Horizon started pretty chill, even though I didn't follow the intended rules at all. And hey, look, it's the bluebird. Hey, wait, come back. Oh great, and now the world is falling apart. Oh well. Here the mechanics from Chapter 8, The Core, make a return, bringing the most devilish levels I've seen in a video game thus far. Look at the timer. Okay. That was just one room. There are 74 more left. Someone end my suffering, please. The next challenge revolved around using a Kevin block to advance through the level, but each time you used it, the platform kept getting narrower. This one was really fun, and even though it was really difficult, I was immensely satisfied when I surpassed it and felt like a true champion of Celeste. Then we had the light blocks, but faster edition, and to top it all off, a moving block that I had to keep returning to while grabbing blue coins. As you can see, Farewell tests every facet of the game and expects you to master each mechanic, each technique, each little nuance the game has, so obviously the next step is to go minimalist. No gimmicks, no crap. Just complex mechanics at insane reaction times. This may not look like it, but I can guarantee you it is 100% harder than everything you have seen prior. Too tight, too precise, too fast. Words cannot describe it. Somehow, when you are playing at this speed constantly for hours, you end up getting used to it, and at some point, you start perceiving everything slower than before. And then, you enter the zone. Oh hey, quick reminder, subscribing helps a lot our channel to keep growing, so if you haven't, I'd like to ask you to. Anyways, moving on, the termination started with some good old golden feather and a really clever room in which I had to keep dashing to avoid getting smashed between the spikes. After many tries and a really close call in which I died near at the finish line, I managed to clear it, but I really felt the burnout. I needed to take a break from Celeste, since it was already February and the hardest part had still to be beaten. And then 2 months passed. I kept working on other videos and, if I got to be honest, I did not want to return to Farewell, as I remembered that rooms were getting so tough that clearing each one of them took around 30 minutes to 1 hour. But if I have learned something in my brief history, that is that I am a completionist and that the trilogy of Celeste but faster had to be done. And so, the 10th of April, I returned to Celeste more motivated than ever, ready to surpass my limits and clear Farewell. I conquered the red bubbles, the light stops, the Kevin blocks, even the fearsome gold feathers, until finally, after many hours, I came out of my stubbornness and found the true meaning of determination. I was going to beat the hell out of this thing. It was a fact. It would happen, sooner or later. Stubbornness brought to the table the color platforms, and after an introductory room that didn't pose much of a challenge, suddenly I had to time my jumps with millimetric precision to pull off insane stunts, finding ways in which I could use the order of the color blocks in my favor. These screens were really fun and a spin on the levels I had been playing so far, and even though they were really hard, I actually enjoyed them a lot. There was one in particular that involved red bubbles, in which I had to design a route that would evade all the color blocks at insane speeds, and that one in particular had my adrenaline pumping straight to my heart, as it required quick reaction times and precision like no other. The last room was actually way easier, and I solved it without running into major problems. And after dodging a few blue and pink blocks, I finally catch the bluebird I had been chasing all this time. Gotcha, bitch! The little bird and I reconciled, and we both kept going, traversing the crumbling terrain covered in electricity walls and hoping for the best. The bluebird offered a helping hand, or more precisely, a helping claw. And between him and Battleline, we kept going, each challenge being way harder than the previous one. We're talking about jellyfish insane combos, puffish crazy shenanigans, removing electricity walls, and spaces that were getting so narrow that we could barely move within them. We had the occasional mishap, of course, and there were times in which we felt almost at the end of a long and difficult room, of course, but we kept going. I had found my resolve and, just like Madeline, had found my inner power in reconciliation. I was at peace with this game. It had been 5 months since I began this crazy adventure, and even though the odds were as nefarious as they could get, I had it in me that we were going to be fine. And so we went through the dash blocks room, the moving blocks that I had to set up perfectly to keep bouncing off of them without losing momentum, the ferocious winds in which I had to make it through tiny gaps with the golden feather, and all of those challenges that brought Celeste mechanics to its absolute limits and beyond were nothing compared to what was ahead. I reached the final room of reconciliation, in which I had to catch up with a Kevin block, and when I did, I arrived to my final destination. Farewell's resolution was awaiting. 6 months. One last room, the hardest one yet. Let's begin. Farewell starts with a combination of jellyfish and puffish maneuvers, in which you can die by missing the puffishes, not performing the dashes correctly, and much more. Then you have to maintain your jellyfish alive somehow by throwing it around until the bluebird comes to help you. Celeste doesn't let you catch a break, as you have to keep alive another jellyfish and start rising with the wind, dodging moving electricity walls, colorful stars, and explosive puffishes. All of that in pursuit of one blue coin that, in order to get, you need to sacrifice your jellyfish to. After that, you need to fall through a tiny gap and dash at the precise moment to keep falling down. A puffish lets you grab a golden feather there, which you can use to keep advancing until you find a falling platform section that does not forgive any mistake. Once you're at the bottom of the room, the hardest part consists of grabbing and releasing jellyfishes at insane speeds, pushing the reaction times to superhuman abilities, only to arrive at the control panel and keep going with the bluebird and Battleline, until you reach a golden feather and, just like Hope, you start to rise from your ashes, and finally, after dashing up and up again with the golden feather, one final dash brings you to... No! I've been playing this last level for 6 hours. No. Oh. Okay. The golden feather respawns. Phew. That would have been catastrophic. Well, as I was saying, one final dash brings you to Battleline, who boosts you up to the skies, in which finally you can reunite with Granny and open up to her. Man, what a hard-earned, beautiful conclusion to this 3-part saga. If you have reached this part of the video, you have my gratitude. This has been probably the hardest challenge I have ever set up myself to accomplish, and even if it has taken a lot of time, I'm glad I managed to conquer it. I hope I see you in the future in other Celeste challenges, or even in other videos from different video games. What a fantastic journey. This concludes Celeste, but faster. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again.